raised sufficient funds in order to cover up the startup costs. And it's a residency program. With recent changes, you are required to reside at least 5 years under this program in order to achieve permanent residency. The most important aspect of this application is that you have to prepare a business plan, and you need to make sure that you have relevant business experience or qualifications in the business field that you wish to establish. You can either incorporate a limited company or form a partnership, or you can be self-employed and provide services to individuals and companies. You don't need to have minimum or maximum investment level. Depending on, again, the size of the business, you can invest as much as your business requires. The main important part of this application is that you have to be a genuine business person and you're willing to operate your own business in the UK. The investment level is depending on the size of the business. It could start from a couple of £1,000 and up to hundreds of £1,000s.
Well, the Brexit currently is a big topic, not only in UK but also in the Europe. How will this Brexit process affect the Ankara Agreement?
It's a very popular question. The Ankara Agreement is signed between the European Union and Turkey. If the UK leaves the EU, then it may be possible that Turkish nationals may not benefit from this agreement. Or there are discussions that they may still maintain the agreement and change the requirements, for example, introduce minimum investment level. However, with the current news and articles, we're not quite sure if the UK is leaving the EU, or even if we do agree to leave the EU, there will still be an implementation period, and Turkish nationals will still be able to apply under this agreement until UK officially leaves the EU. And
when the right is granted, of course, it's not.
Yes, if an individual or the family is granted under this category before they introduce changes or cancel the program, they will still be able to achieve the permanent residency if they meet the requirements.
Okay, do I need to know English for this program?
There is no requirement in the rules. However, you are required to speak at a level that you're able to run your own business.
It makes sense. Yes. Well, Crystal, we talk about the e-residence or e-citizenship, but it was for business. What do you have for people with families or individuals who want to relocate or obtain physical residency rights in Estonia?
There are possibilities. It depends on the need. Of course, there are different types of residency permits, also provided by a small country, Estonia. Estonia is in the north, as you know, 70 kilometers from Helsinki, 300 from St. Petersburg. We are located, for us, it's on a crossroads between east and west. But the residency permits being used and mostly helped by our family office to be obtained are also for business. Because if you come to work, it's a work permit, residency permit for work. It's a very specific reason, but then you choose a residency permit for entrepreneurship, then there are different types. The newish type is as a startup entrepreneur. Estonia is very digitally known. Also the e-residency indicates that. The startup world is very important and supported by the economy, by the government. And the new type of residency permit is as a startup investor. Your investment into the startup company has to be approved that it is a startup company, and there is no amount limit related to that. Then there is a regular type of residency permit for entrepreneurship, and this is 65,000 euros of investment. The main criteria is that it has to be important, this investment, to the economy of Estonia, to the development of the economy. And thus, investment into real estate is not sufficient in that amount. Although in a bigger amount, starting, for example, we estimated from 1 million can be suitable. And the third type is for large investors, which is 1 million of investment, where you have to prove less what business you are going to do, but it has to be investment into business. You have to show less to the government the business plan. You have less requirements for the family to be involved with Estonia. So there are these three different types. And why Estonia is chosen as an investment environment? One thing is different investment opportunities, starting from private startup investments and investments into different other private companies. Turkish investors have also found Estonia as a base. So the content is very important, but also the Estonian company provides a very good tax advantage. And this is that there is no corporate income tax until you take out dividends from the company. So until you keep the investments in the company, reinvest, use it for the company and investment purposes, no tax needs to be paid. And this is an advantage why Estonian companies are being used with residency permit or without, with e-residency or without, but this is a real thing. And the main disadvantage what has been, we always say that bad weather, especially at fall and winter, it has been more disappearing due to global warming. We have the same weather in Estonia as it is in Istanbul now. So
well, always we get the same question. If I want to make a real estate investment, is it also eligible, or can I get a residence permit with real estate investment?
It's not specifically in the law. If it's a business case and you show it's important for the development of the country, you do something special on a larger scale, then it's eligible. But we don't have, like in many countries, saying that you buy a real estate in 200, 300,000 and it's sufficient. We don't have that in the law.
Okay, basically from a small startup companies to big, large corporations, Estonia offers big possibilities for businesses.
Yes.
And I know lifestyle. Tallinn is a beautiful city.
Tallinn is a very nice, beautiful city. I think we have a lot of connections from ancient times from Turkey as well, because lots of names like Melis and different other names are also Estonian names, although we might use them in different contexts. Melis in Estonia is a male name, here it's a women name. So.
Oh. And Dukas, from the government side as well, so real estate is one thing, but for business investment, you mentioned about tourism investments, but what other businesses are welcomed in Greece?
Other categories, if someone makes an investment more than 250,000 euro, he also gets the same advantages for him and for his family. Now, if there is strategic investment, which comes more than 5 million until 40 million, then many executives have also, apart from the investors, also the high-ranking members of the, how can we say, the executives have the same, exactly the same right for them and for their families. And the procedure is fast, especially for the strategic investments. Until now we had 15 planned, very big projects. And there is also a lot of perspective in this kind of investment. And especially the last 3 years, we have a lot of investors, mainly in Thessaloniki and in Athens, in certain sectors, and in the food sector. Already Mado is in Thessaloniki. And we're waiting also more investments. And the most important is the amount, as I told before, is not very high. 250,000 euro for an investor, for a businessman, is not high. amount.
Are there any government incentives or supports with strategic investments?
Yes, of course. First of all, we have some exceptions, tax exceptions. We have the same, how can we say, the same percentage for taxation for 15 years. Does not change this. We have also some cash grant, but you know, because we want to change the model of development, of growth, we're looking for investments that make good to the Greek economy, create jobs, because we have the unemployment of the new of the people between 20 and 30 years old is around 30%. So this is a big problem for our economy. And we're always welcome this kind of investments that create more than 100 positions from work.
Yeah, I see Greece like two brothers time to time fighting each other. And this creates sometimes the question, if there is a political conflict between two countries, how will be our rights protected, or will they be protected both on the residency rights or investments?
Look, when you know, Greek investors have around 1.5 billion euro in Turkey, and also the last years, the investments, the Turkish investments in Greece are more than 1 billion. So whenever you have good economic relations, you may have better political relations. And of course, as a member state of the EU, and we have close ties also with Turkey, I don't believe that something like this may happen. I'm completely sure about it, as I see, you know, the evolution of our political and mainly the economic relations. So this is my opinion.
That's perfect. From the government's word, we take it. Boyana, you just mentioned before about the citizenship program in Montenegro. So it is not an active program right now, and it's coming soon, I believe. Can you tell about the program?
Yes, definitely. Well, the inflow of a lot of investors from all over the world actually inspired the government of Montenegro to create such a program. And the beginning of the program is announced for the beginning of the next year, but there are still a lot of things to be decided. What we know so far about the program is that it will be the opportunity for businesses and investors to enjoy favorable tax rates and to invest in a country in a governmentally approved project or real estate, and based on that become a citizens of Montenegro in 6 months.
Within 6 months, they can get Montenegro citizenship under this program.
Yes, it is a fast-track program, and it doesn't require any applicant to know, to possess the knowledge of Montenegro language, and as well, it doesn't require to give up the current passport or the passports.
So what would be the advantages of Montenegro citizenship right now?
Well, I would say that the country is developing very fast in terms of tourism and investment, so it's pretty attractive with or without this program, but with this program, definitely the travel access to 193 countries, including Schengen zone, and the fact that we will join European Union in 2025 when the enlargement, the next enlargement phase comes, as well the favorable tax rates. As the country is currently in the phase of development, there are a lot of incentives and a lot of support, especially to foreign direct investments.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Back to London. I am very much interested moving to London, but I am afraid about the cost of living, Fatma.
That will depend on your lifestyle, how you wish to live in London. It could be expensive. I mean, compared to Turkey, it is expensive due to currency exchange. But depending on where you want to live and in what sort of a place you want to live and your lifestyle, for a single person, it could change between 1,500 to 5,000 per month.
With 1,500 pounds, I can live as a single person.
You can rent a room. You can rent a single room
life.
in a shared house, and you may not possibly be located in the center of London.
And work on my startup business.
You could, yes, you can. You can work from home. That will reduce the cost of your running your own business, and again, that will reduce the capital that you need to invest as well.
From your experience, which business areas do you see people are more interested in?
I could say retail, IT. There's a lot of people who establish themselves in IT because it could be established at any size. You can operate from home. You can sign contracts with multiple companies. You can be a contractor to a number of firms, or you can rent an office and operate from an office.
So what's the most interesting business you have seen so far from the investors?
In my experience,
In your experience.
and I think I came up with this idea myself because this lady couldn't decide what sort of business she wanted to establish, and before she came and consulted me, she actually visited a number of advisors and lawyers in London. And unfortunately, some people just come up with some ideas that an individual may not have the experience in. She was an accountant in Turkey, and due to the qualifications, unfortunately, you cannot practice as an accountant in the UK if you haven't obtained your qualifications in the field. And she was recommended to set up a bookkeeping company. And with bookkeeping services, you will be required to have at least 20 to 30 customers, which may be really difficult to achieve in the first year. And then I kind of asked her what her hobbies are and what she does in her free time. And she said that she actually likes being a clown. And then she showed me some pictures, and then she likes being in entertainment industry. And I said, well, why wouldn't you, do that? And if this is something that you're interested in. And we basically worked on that and created the business plan, assisted her with the marketing research and everything, and obtained the visa. And she ran the business, and she's now a successful entrepreneur in London.
Oh, that's great to hear those kind of varieties are accepted.
Yes.
And flexibility is there for the people if they want to show that they can do it. They have the experience in it.
Yes, you can establish business in any field. The most important factor is that you must have business experience or knowledge in the business, and you must be genuine with your business intentions.
Okay, genuine intention is the key, I think.
Yes, it's
With
very important.
supported experience and knowledge skills.
Yes, you will need to provide evidence to prove that you have knowledge in the business field.
In the last round of questions, I would like to ask the same question. What is the main motivation of people looking residency in your specific countries? You can
I go first, yes.
Maybe 1 word, 2 words,
Yes,
but the main one.
Sure. UK has always been attractive to many people from different countries. I could say the lifestyle, the education, and the access to Europe. So you're able to basically travel to any countries in Europe within a couple of hours, and also it's not too far from Turkey as well.
And because?
I believe everyone wants to have an alternative scenario, and in the social field and the economic field. And for Greece, the proximity, the mentality are very common, and I believe this is the most important. As I told before, to have one leg in Europe and to have one leg in Turkey. Only 1 hour is Athens from Istanbul by plane. So this for me is the most important.
The main motivation. And Crystal?
I think the genuine investment idea is the most important around which everything gathers. But as I told before, the Estonian company provides the tax advantage of a zero corporate income tax. And for e-residency, the main advantage or the benefit what people are looking is to have the physical position not related possibility to make business.
Okay,
It was
thank you.
difficult, sorry, but just to be able to make business from everywhere.
Bojana?
So Montenegro is a pretty safe country in terms of, I would say, doing the business and banking. This is one of the reasons as well. It's very, I would say, affordable. Cost of the living is very, very affordable. Climate is very nice. People are nice. And if you decide to start your business and become executive director of your own company, you don't have requirement to stay in a country. So it basically means that you can be as well in Turkey much more than in Montenegro if you don't like it that much.
Well, thank you very much for all. Alex, do we have questions?
I'm so sorry. I forgot to put my microphone. So sorry. Unfortunately, running out of time. Maybe one question, if there is anything urgent. Yes, sir. Please wait for the microphone. Do we have a microphone? Yes. Just 1 second. Yes, please. If you can just bring it over there, no problem. Young people can run far and fast. Yes, please, sir.
I have a question to Bojana. How can we track that program, the immigration program that the government will provide in 2019?
Well, we will be here in the hall, so you can come to get more information. But for anything further, you can visit the website of Mr. Tolga, which is our moderator, and he has every news about the program listed. You can as well check, just Google the Citizenship Investment Program Montenegro, and there you will see the announcement of the program beginning of the year.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Yes, if that is all the case, we will take it. We would like to give a small gift, please. And thank you for your insights. I'm sure there's lots and lots of other regulations, and the law is always there. So from my perspective, and I deal a lot with this from my business as well, always check the law. Consultants are great, and they're very professional, and really they, in 99%, offer very, very good advice, and they're good partners. But the law is always there, and the law is always public, right? You can read it. Nothing is hidden. Nothing is hidden there. You know. You can always read it. So, and most of the governments, I think, have law translated into English, or if not, I'm sure all of your companies can help. But you know, it's the same. So people asking, how can I get the visa? And this one told me like this, and this one told me this. It's very simple. Read the law. It's all on the website, and that is the principle. Any interpretation afterwards, you know, it's up to the good service of the companies, which I'm positive your companies are all providing. I know all of them, and it's excellence in your industry. So thank you very much, and thank you, Tolga.
Thank you.
And we will move right into the next panel. If you would kindly leave your headsets just to the young gentleman over here.